Hey, what's up everybody? This is Osterberg501 and today I want to go over the best build for the M4. And I want to go over a build for the M4 because recently there was a fix to damage drop off at longer ranges for some of the rounds in EFT, which was essentially broken since the wipe, and this was heavily affecting 5.56. 5.56 has pretty much been worthless in this wipe. Pretty much nobody's been using it at the mid game or once they get into the late game because it just wasn't good. You could even headshot people at range with 5.6A1 or 5.5A1 and it legitimately would not kill them because the damage drop off was so messed up for 5.56. So hopefully these changes will make this caliber much more usable again. So that brings us to this M4 build. Now this is a full M4 build and what I think is going to be the best overall build for the M4, but this is going to be pretty expensive. It's going to be more of a end game build when you have a ton of rubles and can pretty much do whatever you want for every run. M4s have pretty much always been really expensive if you want to fully build them. So first off, we have front and rear sights. Just use whichever front and rear sights get +1 ergo and are the cheapest. I'm just using Magpul and Bus Gen 2s. Then for the sight, you can use whatever sight you want to use. I personally just stick with the EOTech XP S30. I think it's one of the best sights in the game. Then we have the AR-15 SAI 14.5 inch QD rail handguard. Then for the charging handle, just choose any of the charging handles that give you that +3 ergo. I'm just using an AR-15 Avalanche charging handle. Next up, we have the 406mm barrel. Then for the stock, I'm using the Strike Industries Advanced Receiver Extension Buffer Tube, but the anodized red version. There is a non-red version, but the red version has a slightly increased accuracy and a slight increase to muzzle velocity. And since this wipe, the red one has usually been cheaper than the black one every time I've checked, but you can get rank 4 of one of the vendors and you can buy the black one from that vendor, and I'm pretty sure that's going to be very cheap compared to buying either of these on the flea market. So if you can't buy the black one from the vendor, buy the red one if it's cheaper, but if you have the vendor, the black one's probably going to be more worth to get just because of how cheap it's going to be. Then on that, we're going to have the Magpul PRS Gen 3 stock. Then for the pistol grip, you have two choices. You have the Nora Arms Growl S or the HK Ergo PSG1. They're both pretty much the same thing. They give the exact same amount of ergo, just get whichever one is cheaper. Then for the magazines, you're pretty much going to need rank 3 Peacekeeper to make this weapon viable, because once you get rank 3 Peacekeeper, you can do a barter to get the Surefire Mag 5 silver 60 round mags. Now those give slightly less ergo than the Magpul PMag D60s, which are the round 60 rounders, but you're able to get these much sooner. The round 60 rounders, you have to get rank 4 Peacekeeper and do a specific quest to be able to buy those, because you can't buy either of these 60 rounders from the flea market. So you're pretty much at least going to need Peacekeeper rank 3. If you don't have that, I wouldn't recommend doing a full build like this and using 30 rounders. I really don't think that that is very worth. Next, we're going to be using the AR-15 Vilter Mer 1S upper receiver. Then for the grip, we're going to be putting this on a Magpul M-Lock 4.1 inch guide. And the grip we're going to be using is the Stark SE5. And this grip is essentially a better version of a Fortis Shift tactical grip from last wipe. And this is the grip that's a good balance between recoil reduction and still keeping good ergo. Next, we're going to have the JP Enterprises Gas System 5B. And then we're going to have our tactical device. This is going to be put on a Magpul M-Lock 2.5 inch guide. You can use whatever tactical device you want to use. I would recommend the D-Ball tactical device. This gives you all of the different options of the other tactical devices in one item. And then finally, we have one of the most important parts of the build, which is the flash hider and the silencer. And we're going to be using the Silencer Co. ASR51T flash hider. And then on that, we're going to have the Silencer Co. Saker ASR sound suppressor. And this is the entirety of the build. And this build with the round 60 rounder, which gives slightly more ergo than the silver 60 rounders, we're going to be having 42 ergo, 34 vertical recoil, and 93 horizontal to recoil. So it is still a very stable and pretty well statted weapon. Now for getting a decent ammo for this weapon, if you have Skier at rank 4 or if you have Peacekeeper at rank 4, you're able to start to buy 55A1 from these vendors. Now it's two separate vendors that both give you a limit of 90 every reset. So once you get up to having these rank 4 vendors, you're able to get a decent amount of 55A1, and it's not actually that expensive. It's 7 USD or 445 rubles per. So the ammo's not that expensive. You'll just have to keep buying it every reset to be able to build up ammo so you can do some consistent runs with this ammo. Now before that, you can use 56A1, which still isn't too bad of a bullet, especially with most people still running tier 4 or tier 5 armor. You're not going to see a ton of tier 6 armor right now. You're able to start buying 56A1 from Peacekeeper at rank 3 for 4 USD per, and you can buy 150 every reset. So you're able to stock up on this ammo pretty quickly. You can also craft, I think, 200 56A1 in your hideout, and I think that's pretty cheap. I think it's just a red gunpowder and 200 M855. So you're also able to craft this if you're still using these bullets. So you shouldn't have too big of an issue when you're at this point to have as much 56A1 as you need. So that's pretty much all I wanted to go over for this build for the M4. And I do think this is a pretty good build for the weapon. This weapon is pretty well statted, and you should be able to spray this weapon pretty well, even with how recoil is in this wipe. And I think the 5.56 rounds should be quite a bit better with these new fixes for the damage drop off. I think it'll still require some testing from the community to see if 5.56 is generally considered a more usable round than it was. So subscribe if you want to see more Escape from Tarkov or other FPS videos. Leave a like if you liked the video. Leave a comment down below what you guys think about this build, and thanks for watching.
Frag out!